Hey, I'm Larry Rivera.
What's up? I'm Jamie Pelias, and welcome to our channel.
Right. And so we've had this channel for a while,
Yes, we have.
but we haven't done very much with this channel.
Not too much. We've been working on other things.
Yeah, when we started doing marketing on the internet, we just threw everything at the wall, tried everything. I did.
I don't know if I exactly did the same. There were certain things I wasn't willing to try.
Oh, by the way, this video is to teach you how to make money in 2020,
As a beginner.
a beginner edition.
Beginner
So,
edition.
what's important for you guys to know right now, this particular video is actually being recorded with the onboard audio
Yes.
and the onboard webcam.
So why are we doing that? Because normally we kind of go all out,
Try to be a little fancy.
but we're not being fancy right
No,
now,
we're not.
so-
Because the reality is nobody really starts out of the gate fancy.
No.
Some people do, and they don't know what they're doing, so they have a fancy, but it doesn't look very good. In other words,
Is that a technical term? Fancy?
fancy is technical for looking good. But if you don't know what you're doing, then looking good and not knowing what you're doing isn't really helpful.
I think what he's trying to say.
What am I saying?
Because he's just kind of rambling right now, is that you don't have to have super expensive equipment to get started. You can even use your phone. We've done lots of videos on our phone, especially nowadays. Most phones are capable of putting out some pretty stellar stuff, especially if you have decent lighting. You don't have to, spend a ton of money getting ready to get ready. You can just get started. I think that's your point.
I guess that's my point.
All right.
You're so helpful.
You're very welcome. That's what I'm here for.
So, let's start this conversation up.
All right, let's start. So how did
this person who's watching this video,
Mm-hmm.
they're watching it.
Right.
I'm nervous.
Why are you so nervous?
They're looking.
It's okay.
It's okay. So, there's a good chance that you guys are here because you want to know how to make money in 2020 on the internet.
And you're a beginner, so you're like, hey, how do I get started?
And so, what this video is it's here to help you have some guidelines more than it's about going into details because, man, there's so many videos online that claim to help people make, $100 in a day, $400 in a day, $25,000 in a month, and all kinds of crazy things. There's affiliate marketing, network marketing, selling your own stuff on the internet.
Right.
There's just so many ways to make money
Membership
online.
sites.
I think all that's
ebooks.
confusing.
Yeah.
So I want
especially if you're a beginner, right? That would probably be a little confusing. You're like, hey, I want to learn how to make money online, and there's like a bazillion options laid out before you. That would be a little overwhelming.
Yeah. So I want you guys and gals who are watching to first and foremost, let's start at the beginning.
Let's start at the beginning.
What do you want to do? The first thing you need to do is you need to decide. Do you want to sell other people's stuff? Do you want to sell your own stuff?
And there's pluses and minuses to both of those.
Do you just want to entertain people? Because certainly there's a market where you can just be goofy and funny and find ways to monetize it.
Yeah, that's actually probably one of the easiest ways to make money in 2020 is to do entertainment.
So
if you're really funny
it depends on how you look at it.
Really talented in some other shape or way or form, people really love that.
Right. So I think no matter what direction you want to go to make money online, what needs to be in front is your passion. Mm-hmm. You need to have a passion for what. I think one reason why so many people have a hard time is they try to figure out how to make money online out of desperation.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. They're behind on their bills, they're in debt, or maybe they just lost their job, and now they're like, what do I do?
You do something.
Yeah. Can I tell them what I would do if I
please.
just lost my job?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're talking about beginners making money, creating your own schedule, right? Doing your own thing. In 2020, if I lost everything and I needed to make money like tonight, let me tell you what I would do. Well, I wouldn't be able to be tonight. It'd be more like in a couple days, because there's a little wait time. I would do Uber or Lyft driving.
Ooh, yeah.
Uber and Lyft driving. And our referral code for both of those is going to be down below. So if you want to do that, and here's why. If you have a decent driving record and you have a vehicle, and even if you don't have a vehicle, there's ways to rent a vehicle. You can make some decent money. There's people making $20+ an hour doing Uber and Lyft that just got started.
And
So-
we'll also talk more about that.
yeah, we're gonna talk a whole lot about more. But that's what I would do. Like if I was like in desperation, I got to make my bills, and I don't know what else to do, but I can't find a job, or maybe I don't want a job anymore. I whatever happened, I either quit my job or lost my job, and I'm just over the whole job thing, and I want to own my time and decide when I'm working, when I'm not, when I'm off, when I'm not. Uber and Lyft. That's what I would do. Because that's like the most simplest thing a person can do to get started right away and actually generate income. Do you agree with that?
I think it's the easiest way.
I think so too. Well, that's what I said, the easiest way.
It's the easiest way. Now, that's not exactly online.
Now, if you don't like to drive, or you absolutely cannot stand talking to people, it's probably not where you want to go.
But you're true.
Over those things. But,
I side hustle that, and you
Yeah.
can make. I think it's safe to say you can make anywhere between $25 and $35 an hour if you're a hustler.
and honestly, there's ways that you can monetize to increase that. There are some people making
Which goes back to the
$100
internet
an hour,
marketing thing.
But that goes back to internet marketing.
Stop.
We're getting way ahead of
Yeah.
ourselves.
We both have ADD. So if you're going to follow our videos, which we really hope you do, just know that we go in all kinds of directions.
Make sure you subscribe. But yes, while we go in lots of directions, you will be informed, entertained, and educated.
So before we go any further about this whole how to make money online in 2020, maybe you should learn more about who we are really and what we've been doing.
Right? Why should you listen to us? That's a good reason. Let's talk about that.
Really. So let's start with your story.
You want to? Oh, my story. You want me to go first? Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. That's so kind of you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm a nice guy.
So I got started working for myself back in 2004. I was doing more like freelance stuff at that time, where I was working for an advertising company that made, like, when you go to like the New York Times or any online newspaper and you go and click on stuff and just the picture pops up or just the article pops up, I was the person behind the scenes coding that stuff. And how I got started in that was I was pregnant with my son, my first child at the time, Aiden, and I was actually working a regular job, and I was like super. I was just getting like super sick. Like I had morning sickness, like you would not believe, and I realized it was because I was actually in a job, because I had a job in corporate America the year before that, lost it after 3.5 years, and then was like, I did things like life insurance and different things like that. So I was working for myself for times. And then I tried to get back to a job because I found out, I was pregnant. I was married at the time, for those of you wondering. Short story of that, I realized I was married to a person that was not in a good mental place, bad situation. It was like the worst case scenario. So I was like, okay, I gotta increase my income fast. I thought at the time I was gonna be a single mom. So I got a job. I started having I started having morning sickness, which
Same
kind
thing,
of
I
feels,
think. I think it's the same
feels
thing.
like that. At least
I wouldn't know because I don't get morning sickness.
you
But if I
wouldn't,
did, I bet you would feel like motion
But from
sickness.
what you've described to me, it probably is pretty similar. It's not fun, and it was extreme, and I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on, and I just really felt like I needed to leave my job, and I literally decided during lunch one day that I quit. I literally typed up a message to my manager, hit send, went to go on lunch break, and never came back again. And you know what? My morning sickness went away literally that day. Like literally within the hour of me leaving the job, it was just gone. So it was stress. So I realized I was like psychologically unemployable. And I kind of had that feeling before that, when I was in corporate America, because I'd get bored real easy, back to the ADD, right? When I was getting trained on a regular basis, I was happy and kind of excited about my job. But then when I'd have these long lulls, I would get like really antsy and frustrated and stuff like that. So I'm psychologically unemployable. That's the short story of it. So now I have my son. I'm like, all right, I find, this work from home job, great. I can kind of set my schedule, that kind of thing, kind of control my income, but I still had a cap of what I could make. So I started looking at other ways to make more money at home, because I decided I did not want to go work somewhere else. And one, because I thought I was just gonna be sick to my stomach, because apparently that's why I had bad morning sickness, was because I was at a job. I didn't want to be stressed out, and I wanted to make sure that I was there for my son. I didn't want to have to pay someone else when he came into the world to watch him while I was off at work. So basically working to pay for someone else to watch my kid. It didn't make sense in my head. Maybe it would make sense for other people. I could not wrap my brain around it. So I was like, all right, what else can I do? So I started looking at network marketing. That's my first thing. And unfortunately, I had a bad experience with that. I was like, look, lady, I only want to work this online. Can I do this? And I'm not going to say the company's name or anything like that, but this lady promised me I could do that. Long story short, she was wrong in the terms of service. It literally said that I was not able to promote that business online. So that was that. I took a little bit of time off. I was still working from home though. And long story short, when my daughter came, I started revisiting the whole online thing. This was after she was about a year old. So it was like about 2000, almost like 2008, 2007, 2008. Well, yeah, part of 2007, I started really looking at stuff. And I started dabbling with some online stuff. And then I was doing internet marketing, network marketing, kind of combo thing. I was doing some freelance stuff. I actually have a degree in advertising design. So I started going, why don't I freelance stuff, right? Like, why not? Like, utilize your skills. Like, that's what this whole channel is going to be about. Profit on the knowledge you have, as well as new knowledge that you obtain along the way. Like, learn skills and take action and make money, right? Like, simple, right? Simple process there. So long story short, I started doing like freelance graphic design, web design, logo design, copywriting, ghostwriting, that kind of stuff for other people. That was around the time that we met. That was April of 2009. We met through...
She's so good with numbers and dates. You know how ladies are.
No, it's just a Virgo
It's
thing.
a skill. I think it's a woman's skill. I think men out there watching, you tell me if you guys in the comments section agree with me.
I don't know. I've met
Dates?
some men that are better at dates than I am, so I don't know. So I think it depends on the individual and the type of personality you are more than if you're male or female. But for me, when something really pivotal happens in my life, I remember it. There's tons of other stuff you could ask me about. I don't remember dates or anything about it. It's the only things that are pivotal changes in my life. And for me, the pivotal change was I actually found a business partner that I could relate to. Now, we weren't even in the same state at the time. It was a mutual friend of ours that was also an internet marketer, thought we could work well together, and we hit it off. And we've been working, on and off ever since then on different projects and stuff like that. And so... that was around the time that we were doing, like I said, mostly internet marketing, network marketing. I was doing freelancing on the side as well. And there was a kind of a shift going on where you were still kind of in that world, but I was like, hey, why don't we do our own stuff? And you were kind of like, oh, I don't know about that yet. And do you want to kind of take it from there?
It's my turn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go rewind further back.
Well, yeah, because you got to start from the beginning. And we'll re-jump back to
it's like a movie.
That other time period. Yeah.
I dropped out of high school twice. I dropped out of college. I got my general education diploma though after I dropped out of high school twice, and I wanted to be a martial artist. Mm-hmm. That's what I was doing. I was just doing martial arts. And in 2003, towards the end, I want to say, I was playing a lot of computer games. About 30, 40 hours a week, I was playing computer games.
Man, that's like a part-time job.
Well, you know what?
I didn't 40 hours. Shoot.
I really didn't sleep. I'd go to work and I'd get home at from 7 o'clock at night to 3, 4 in the morning. I would just play computer games.
That's wild.
That's what I did.
That's what he did.
I have my oldest daughter who is going to be 17 soon. She was getting ready to be born. And I decided, maybe I'll make some extra money. I'll learn something. Because I was still
maybe
training.
I should do something else with this
I was teaching part-time martial arts. And I wasn't really making a lot of money doing that at the time. So I started to learn how to do internet marketing. Now, here's the funny thing. I knew absolutely nothing about nothing. And back in 2003 and 2004, there wasn't as much information on how to make money on the internet as there is today. And it was a lot harder. The technology you needed to learn was a little bit more difficult to learn because with things like WordPress, it's easy to set a WordPress up. You can set a WordPress up in 5 minutes, really.
I will say in some ways it was harder and easier. It was
I didn't
easier.
finish my story.
Can I just say
You're
real
gonna cut me
quick?
right off. She likes to cut me off. Go ahead.
Just I don't like to cut you off, but I just want to say in some aspects it was harder, like you said, because you had to learn. It was harder to learn stuff in some ways, but it was also easier to find the information that you wanted versus being like inundated with like a bazillion different options.
There was information over. There wasn't as much information over.
Yeah, so in some ways it was easier, but yeah, it was a little bit more technologically difficult.
Well, it was very difficult for a high school dropout, let me tell you. Trying to learn things like HTML and CSS and all kinds of crazy things that like I gave two craps about. But I wanted a website.
So you made it happen, right?
So my first website was really ghetto fabulous. But it was a website, and it was my introduction into affiliate marketing, which is what I started out getting involved with, which was affiliate marketing on the internet. And then I was doing things like selling rebrandable ebooks, private label right stuff, master label right stuff. And again, don't worry about these terms. Later on in another video, we'll talk more about things that you may or may not be interested in doing. You can let me know in the comment section what you are interested in learning about, and we can tailor it towards you guys. So from there, I started to fail miserably in the internet network marketing world. I spent so much money in advertising, doing things like Google ads. Facebook wasn't really a big thing back then for stuff like that.
No.
But I was doing solo ads, safeless stuff.
E-zines, right?
E-zines, banner advertising. Basically, any place I could buy traffic, I was buying traffic, and it was costing a fortune, and I was getting very little return, right? Like I'd spend $500, make 2 sales, make $100. It really wasn't financially a viable model, but what it did teach me was that if you get enough traffic, you can make sales. So the key for me was learning how to get traffic without breaking the bank. So we fast forward a little bit, and I'm just gonna jump ahead where I met her. She already told that part of the story, but around that same period of time when I met her, I guess around 2000, for me it was around 2008, 2009, the gears in my brain really started turning, and I started to learn how to speak better on the camera. I learned how to create better ad copy, create marketing funnels, create credibility in my marketplace. And I learned a lot of different things which started to help. And I went from making, $600 a month. I think before that, the best month I had was like maybe $800 to making $1,000 a day. And I'm gonna give one of those, what are they called?
Income
disclaimers.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about numbers and money for a minute, but that doesn't mean that I can guarantee that you'll make any money at all. I just wanted to share my experience with you, my personal experience, what I went through. So I went through, because it sounds pretty crazy when I start talking about it. I went from making like $500 a day, or $200 a day, $500 a day, $1,000 a day, $3,000 a day, $5,000 a week, and things like that. And that money starts to add up pretty quickly. So before you knew it, I was making $15,000 a month and such. And you start, not making any money for years, and all of a sudden you have a pile of money. You're like, holy crap, what did I do? So what I learned during that time was that once you have the processes in place, you can really make a lot of money on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once you understand what you're doing. Right. So then we fast forward a little bit, and things happened in our lives.
Well, actually, one thing that I would like to add to that I kind of like glazed over and stuff like that was one of the reasons. Besides, obviously my really bunk introduction into network marketing, where I was lied to. Right after that all happened, my child that I was preparing for, I lost. He was born full-time stillborn, and that was one of the other reasons I took like a hiatus. Like I took a hiatus from everything besides working from that at-home job, because that was literally all I could muster up for like a good year and a half or so before my daughter was there. And then I'm like looking at her and I'm like, I've got to be able to do more for her. So for me, my kids have always been, and it sounds like for even you, like your daughter, when your daughter came into your life, you're like, oh man, I can't just keep playing video games all day long. I gotta do something different with my life. And so it's interesting that both of us, like our children, were very pivotal in our decision making to be entrepreneurs and really look at finding ways to overcome our poverty backgrounds because you didn't come from a wealthy
And I
background.
want to say there is this thing. Before we go any further in this conversation, and this is going back to making money online in 2020, right? It really is going to go back to that. So we're sharing our story with you, mostly so you can hopefully connect with us or identify with our stories. One of the things that has been true to my life since I was a very small kid, in fact, I can go as far back as to when I was in second grade. I used to get like erasers and pencils and stickers, and I'd put them in a bag, and I'd set everything up on my bed, and I'd try to get my grandmom and my aunt and my mom and my brother to come into the room and buy something out of my store. When I was a teenager, I'd be up late at night watching those infomercials with all kinds of people. I won't even get into their names right now because I know once I start mentioning them, some of you guys may actually know who I'm talking about who are a little bit older. And I would try to get my mom to buy me info products. I bought info products, and I try to make money. And every time I bought something, I'd be like, I'm going to be a billionaire. I got the secrets. So I've always been into, I don't know what to call it, the get-rich-quick schemes, make money at home stuff. And mainly because as a high school dropout, I actually had jobs where I pumped shit for a living. And I don't think it gets any lower than that. When you're walking in human feces,
and you weren't getting paid very well either.
I wasn't getting paid a lot. No, and I did.
Stories you've said.
I worked in warehouses carrying 60-pound boxes, and I would move tons and tons of weight every single day. So for me, the only future that I had in the workforce, because I was a dropout and because I had no ambition, I'm not employable, right? They couldn't sell me enough to work these crazy hours and do these things and work my way up for such a little bit of money at the end of the road to a retirement where I might get a heart attack before I get to retirement. It's just, there's a lot of things.
It didn't make sense to you.
It didn't make sense to me. So I was looking. I had a hunger inside of me to be my own boss, to live life on my own terms. And so no matter how many times I failed, which I failed a lot, no matter how many times I failed, I got back up and I tried again.
Right.
And I tried again.
Right. So that's a tip right there that we both have in common, is that despite how many times you fall on your face, you got to get back up again. And that goes back to knowing why you want to do this. So that's another success tip for beginners in making money, online in 2020, is you have to know why you even want to do this. Because if you have no idea, or even if you're at we call it the surface level why, ask yourself why you want to do this, why you want to make money online in 2020, about 30 times. When you get to that 30th time, then you probably have the actual answer. When you really have to sit there and you cannot come up with any other reason, that's your why.
And then once you have a why, the only other part of it is you have to find out what you have passion for and what you really want.
What's your purpose for being
We recommend, so here's a recommendation for you new players out there. Whether you whether you want to sell other people's stuff,
which is affiliate
or
marketing,
you want to sell your
or
own
network
stuff,
marketing,
have a true passion and desire to help and service people. If you're just an entertainer, well, be the best damn entertainer you can be. If you're funny, be funny. If you're a musician, be a good musician. If you just want to sing, be a great singer. Whatever it is, if you're a comedian,
make people laugh.
Whatever your passion is, you really, you've maybe heard this from your grandparents and parents. I heard this from my parents and grandparents. It doesn't matter what it is that you want to do in the world. Number one, you can do it on the internet, which is amazing, as long as you understand the steps that you have to take. And number two is, if you're really, really good at it, no matter what it is, love that first, be good at that first, and then eventually the money does come to it. So don't buy into the lie. Don't buy into the lie that you need to go find a good job. So many people look for jobs that pay well and they go, I'm going to do that because that pays well. Yeah. That doesn't make you happy.
No,
I have a friend who makes mid-six-figure income, really good income, has a nice house. He hates his job. He absolutely despises it, but he had children. He wanted a good paying job. And now we're the same age. He's looking at his life. He's like, man, I got 15 years left. He's like, I could just hold on. But he's like, I don't even want to. He's depressed all the time. He's just not happy doing what he's doing. So part of even watching this video right now tells me that somewhere inside of you, you're not happy because you're actually looking for this information.
Right. There's something in your life that you want to fix and you want to change. And you know, I kind of came from, you know, I did finish high school. That was really important for me because both of my parents did not finish high school. So they were very big about, you know, Jamie finished high school. And they were both, you know, they were subcontractors. They did drywall, and then they were their own entrepreneurs. My dad taught himself how to completely rebuild as well as fix anything that you could think of with computers. He figured out how to do it by reading some books and trial and error, and self-taught himself how to do that, and ended up opening a computer shop for like I think it was like when I was in 7th grade, like on to my end of high school and stuff, that he had that shop. But so I did come from like an entrepreneurial background in some way, shape, or form, though, you know, once things change, instead of my dad looking to reinvent himself in that industry, he just kind of gave up on it. And so my parents really drove home, Jamie, get a good job, go to college, you know, basically do the things we didn't do. So I really didn't even want to go to college, but I wanted to make my parents happy. And I also thought maybe they were onto something because I saw them struggling, you know, back and forth, you know, we'd have, you know, a little bit of success and then it was, you know, not so good. And there was always this back and forth and never really knowing like how long the success moments would last and stuff like that. And so I ended up, you know, going to school, not for my passion, for something that I thought was more practical, that would end up serving me more long term, which actually it did. So I'm kind of in some way grateful that I did that in some weird way. But the reality is I ended up getting in a lot of debt for something that I could have self-taught myself online or with books. And even back then, like this is early 2000s, I could have
Which you just brought something up that
and online and totally X'd out the debt.
So you just brought something up that's very important. Mm-hmm. So listen, you do not need to spend $1 or euro or peso or rubles or whatever the heck monetary system you deal with on educating yourself on how to do stuff on the internet, because on YouTube alone, there's just so much information. So I don't want to sit there and
I would say for at least all the basic level stuff, I will say when you want to get more intermediate to advanced, then you probably are going to need to invest in yourself. But
we're not.
You should have,
this person's not there yet.
No, they're not. But this is beginner stuff.
So I don't want to create videos on things that are already out there that you can go find if you just do a Google search. But I want to bring a different spin to you guys, so you go out there and you start realizing that you can make money. Right. And then later on, share advanced techniques with you. There's tools, there's services, there's all these things that you can use. So,
and there's a lot of free tools that you can use just to get started. So we'll be covering a lot of those things to help them get going.
Yes. So I want to continue my story.
Yeah, let's go.
So eventually, what ended up happening was we decided, and this goes true for any affiliate business, any network business, there is no guarantee that whatever you put your effort into, that it's going to be there. There's just no guarantee. Companies go under all the time. Products.
Well, it's not even that. We don't know if this person that's watching this, you know, and there's probably several of you watching this that this could apply to. We don't know how your attitude is, how your demeanor is. You might be a person that's so down on yourself, you really need to sit down and work on your mindset.
Yes, but this isn't about you right now. This is about me.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, you were talking about there's no guarantees. There is no guarantees. We cannot promise you, even if you follow everything that we share with you to a T, that you're going to be successful, because we don't know you personally. And are you really doing this stuff right? Are you coming off with an attitude or negativity? You know, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into play with being successful online in 2020 and beyond.
Okay, so there's no guarantee that the companies are going to be around to keep paying you. So even though I started making $1,000 a day, a lot of days, and I was enjoying a minimum of $9,000 a month, a minimum for a couple of years, a few years actually. It was
like living La Vida Loca for you.
Living La Vida Loca for me, shoot. And I think that might be living La Vida Loca for a lot of people. So I'm not. So I started to feel bad because, number one, I felt that I wasn't fully in control of my life.
Right.
And so a moment came where, like, you know, the stars fell from the sky, the clouds parted, the sun beamed down, and it was the right time and the right moment at the right place to do what Jamie and myself here did, which is we created our own product in a niche that I was always passionate about and something that she's always wanted to do. Yeah. And we went ahead and we created a business out of it, and it turned into a 6-figure business, and it's a business that we currently have today. It's one of our businesses that we have.
It's our main business.
It's our own thing.
And it's, in case you guys know this, all the memorabilia, or memorabilia.
Paraphernalia?
No.
What?
Swag. How about that? All the swag.
Swag.
It's Enter Shaolin. It's our main business, which obviously is martial arts related.
And you can search that anywhere. So you can search it in Google. You can search it on YouTube. You'll find us right away showing up on the first page for everything because we're actually good at what we do.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not trying to brag.
And we're passionate about what we do.
We're good at what we do.
And
this channel, so let me explain Profit on Knowledge.
Yeah.
And the Profit on Knowledge comes in a package deal. We have a website, we got this, that, another, all attached to this. The whole idea of Profit on Knowledge really started with me, and me alone. I'm the cat.
I wasn't around then. I actually came along and helped with Profit on Knowledge.
Profit on Knowledge was something that I created, and it went through a lot of different...
When did you start it?
2006.
Okay.
I created Profit on Knowledge. It was my first website that I built, actually, which it doesn't look like what it does today. Before, it was a static website. Now it's like a WordPress. So the idea behind Profit on Knowledge, the idea behind it was that I wanted to prove to the world that I could sit in front of a computer, being a high school dropout, not really being good at the techie stuff, that I could pull and make money from the computer itself with an internet connection. So I didn't want to be able to do something where I didn't need nothing but my computer and the internet, and poof, and make money from my house, from a trailer, from a hotel, from an RV,
there's internet
on
connection.
a beach, wherever there's an internet connection. And I really, really believed in that. The first time I made money on the internet, I spent $100-something, maybe it was $180 on like AdWords, which at the time was a totally different machine and animal than it is today. And we'll talk about that later. And I made one sale. And I made one sale for $27. And I was so excited. I got a check in the mail. I'm like, and I was telling everybody, I made money. And they're like, well, how much did you spend? I went, well, I spent this much money. They go, dude, you should go back to school. You should go back to school. I don't think they're
like you don't understand. If I did it once, that means I could do it again.
It was like something from The Princess Bride. That one scene. I forget where the guy was like, I don't think you really know what that means. But I felt great about it. That was enough for me. That set such enough of a fire inside of me.
Because you knew it was possible.
Because I knew it was possible.
If I did it once, I can
and
that.
So the whole purpose of Profit on Knowledge was the steps that I took, the things that I did, I wanted to be able to share with all of you, because I was in a place in my life where I felt very insecure about who I was. I felt like a complete failure in my life. I felt like no matter what I did, nothing worked. But I felt that, hey, I'm not a loser. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to do things. I just need that hand to say, hey, do this, try that, go here. And I did a lot of that, and a lot of times I got burned. I got a lot of crappy information as well as good information.
Right. Yeah, and that was one thing, because I know you were throwing out numbers like earlier, like, oh, I spent this on this course and da-da-da-da and all such stuff. And some people were like, I ain't got that kind of money. What's going on here? You don't have to. Even back then, we started our journeys differently. You know, you had your credit cards you were using, and you also had a friend that was, you know, investing for you to learn because he didn't have time to learn. So it was like, yo, I'll give you some money. You learn. Let's do this type of thing. So it's like an angel investor. You had an angel investor.
I had an angel investor.
You had an angel investor. And for me, I didn't have none of that. I think that I had one credit card and it had a $500 credit limit because my now ex-husband back then ended up getting our home foreclosed on without me knowing about it until it was too late to save it. And it was a big, ugly mess. Long story short, my credit sucked. So there was very little. I had a $500 credit card to help me rebuild my credit. So that wasn't getting me very far with online courses. So I would take money as I earned it, and I would reinvest in courses from time to time as I could. But I did a lot of my learning, how a lot of you will end up probably doing a lot of your learning as well, using the internet.
Yep.
I'm a great researcher, finding the gold amongst all the mess and all the garbage, and taking that stuff and learning and applying. And that's a big part of Profit on Knowledge, is we don't want you guys and gals, as you're going through our videos or anyone's videos online for that matter, we don't want you to just like learn and fill your brain with all these ideas and thoughts and be all confused. We want you to learn something and apply it. Learn something and apply it. That's why our motto is skills plus action equals success, because it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. If you're not taking any action, you're not going to have success.
Right. So at the end of the day, and we'll wrap this video up soon, our purpose for being here is to really give back to a community and to people what has been afforded to us through the world of internet marketing, through the world of networking with people. Like,
Right.
none of the stuff that we do, I don't think we would have done unless we met each other.
Right.
We would never met each other if we weren't doing online marketing.
Probably not. I mean, well, we did talk about you almost went in the military, I almost went in the military. So there might have been other ways that we connected.
I would have been your commanding officer.
Possibly, because you were older than me, so that might have happened. So
I'd say, sir, yes, sir.
that would have been funny. You'd be like,
No,
"Why is
'cause
this lady
you're
so defined?"
You wouldn't listen. I'd probably have to shoot you at the firing squad.
You're
or
like,
something.
she's cute, but she's getting on my nerves. She won't listen to anything I tell her to. She keeps saying, but, no. So anyways,
Yeah, right.
but-
I ain't doing that. You're gonna do it. I ain't doing that.
Look, it don't make no
Come on.
sense. I don't care if it makes sense. I told you to do it. Yeah, that'd have been great. That's actually one of the reasons I decided not to join the military. I took the testing and everything. I was able to get whatever position I wanted, and I really started thinking about someone just yelling at me randomly for no reason, and I realized that my daddy did not teach me to take that. So I was like, no, it's probably not gonna work out for me. But that's a whole other story.
So
for
here's
another day.
what I want you guys to look forward to. First and foremost, subscribe to our channel,
Yeah, absolutely. Subscribe to
because
the channel.
we have videos on this channel already, and actually, if you go through the archives of our videos, some of them are really old. So you can kind of see our journey
Yes.
a little bit through this channel.
You know, we
because
should probably make maybe another track, a playlist of some of our stuff from our other channel that we created, because there was some good stuff in there too, so they can really see.
we have
like-
YouTube channels all over the place. One of the things we're going to try to help
That's
you
true.
guys it also is to learn how to do a good YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and we have several YouTube channels between the two of us.
But our main ones are Inner Shellen and Inner Tai Chi, and that's a whole other story for another day why there's two of them. But you heard our primary brand is Inner Shellen. That's something that. So, can I tell them real quick about that?
Well, what do you want to tell them?
I just want to tell them, so back in 2009 when we first met and he told me what he was learning in martial arts from his teacher, I was like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing for my entire life, and I want to make sure other people can get access to it. Then I realized I cannot find what you guys were teaching anywhere even remotely close to me. And then I ended up moving after my divorce, still couldn't find anything, and God was like, girl, you want to learn this, you're going to have to go. Because I tried for years to get them to allow me to build a website, market the website, do the customer service, even pay for my membership and everything. Basically do anything and everything except for the filming part. They would have had to done that because I was in a different state. But they were like, yeah, no one wants that. So one of the things I want to say is if you have an idea and you're getting a lot of people and you just know in your heart of hearts it's something that you're supposed to do, and people keep telling you no one wants that, no one wants that. If there's one of you, and that's you, right, that knows that this is a great idea and you just feel it in your spirit and your soul, this is something you're supposed to do with your life, run with it anyways. Even if you keep getting no's, keep going until you get a yes, because that's why we have our own business. It took from April of 2009 to December of 2013 to get a yes from them, and then we launched our site on May 1st of 2014.
See, she's good with dates. I don't know.
Again, pivotal moments in my life. So just like I remember my children and stuff,
I don't.
birthdays.
I'm bad.
You don't love them enough. That's what
I
I'm
love them
saying.
I think one's born 1 month and the other one's born on that month, and I mess up. I think I get anxiety and too stressed out. Like Dad, because I got 2 daughters. Again, it's a female. When's my birthday? I'm like, oh my God, which one are you? What's your name? I panic. I get kid panic.
You know, I think you get really nervous too easily. So I think it's a self-confidence issue more than a memory issue. But yeah, so there's a couple things. One, know why you want to do something to better your life, to whether it's a
Right.
side hustle.
Wait. Let's get the good framing going.
yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this this video with, if you want to make money online
in
2020, the first thing you have to do is what?
You need to know why you want to do it.
Why do you want to do it? And folks, it needs to be so much more of a reason than I want to make a little bit extra money.
It could take you an hour to get to your real why. So
you just got to really
do that. Ask
for me,
why
I think it was
until
underlying.
You can't come up with anything else, and that's your real why.
I believed in myself. I wanted to believe in myself, I think. And so I had to prove to me that I could do it. And it bothered me so much for so many years early on that I wanted to quit. Because I'm like, oh my God, maybe I'm really that stupid. You know, it's much like my martial arts. In my early martial arts training, I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get this. There's no way I'm going to be good at it.
In all fairness, in our martial arts, it's a lot different than most, and it does make you really question your intelligence.
But
really
quickly. I found success in so many different areas of my life because of one reason and one reason only. It's because I didn't give up.
Yeah.
And you have to know why you're doing what you're doing to get into a position where you don't give up. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. You really, when people say, you've heard it before, when people say you have to have a powerful why, you have to. And it has to be so much more. Like, maybe you do look at your kids and tears pour out of your eyes because you want to give your kids the best that you can give them.
Right. Or maybe you just want to spend more time with them because you never get to see them because you're working 2 to 3 jobs or whatever the case is.
And maybe it has something to do with kids. Maybe you're like me and something inside of you need to prove to yourself that, hey, you're not a bum. Well, I mean, I don't know what your reason is.
Right.
But your reason has to be that powerful.
Yeah,
so that's number one.
It doesn't matter where you've come from or, whether you've had a great, upbringing or a horrible one or somewhere in between. Anyone can be successful.
The next thing the number 2 thing here is, all right, forget about making money for a moment. Mm-hmm. If there is one thing above all other things in your life that you are absolutely 1,000,000,000% passionate about,
and you would do even if there was no money involved,
what is that?
And nothing.
What does it look like?
Yeah, what does it look like?
What does it look like?
It could be that you love, making recipes and cooking, right? And a lot of people might be
maybe
like,
you like vaping, but that's for another.
There might be a lot of people out there like, Jamie, there's so many people out there that already have cooking shows or YouTube channels about cooking and stuff like that. You know what I've noticed is that, because I love cooking, so I look at a lot of these shows, and it doesn't matter. I've seen people that have great production, and I see people that barely know how to use their webcam or are just using their phone and they're using it in the regular mode and stuff instead of horizontal, and they still get tons of views and stuff like that because they are able. Every person has an audience. That's what I want to say. Every person has an audience. So even if you think that whatever the niche is that you are really passionate about is already saturated, think about how many comedians there are, or singers, or actresses, or whatever that you can think of, right? There's tons of them. If they thought for a moment that it was saturated, they would never have went and fulfilled their dreams and done what they want to do. So it's not about how many people are out there. It's about doing what you're passionate about so you can go and live your life. And I know some of you are like, well, Jamie, didn't you say go be an Uber driver? That's the easiest way. Yes, that's the easiest way. That's my, if you're in an emergency situation and you need to just make money right now, that's what you need to go, is Uber or Lyft. And by the way, our links will be below this video, like I said earlier. But while you're doing Uber and Lyft, right, I want you to think beyond Uber and Lyft. Think of that as your emergency temporary plan. What is it that you really want to do that if money and time were no object that you would be doing? And maybe you're already doing, but you're not monetizing on it. That is what your passion is. That's what you should be doing with your life.
Yes.
So that was number 2.
And then number 3, commit to yourself right now and the amount of time you're going to spend every single week working towards your why, your passion.
Yeah.
And if you pick the right passion, you'll work a lot more than you think you're going to work because you just enjoy doing it.
Right. Yeah, find the time. That's super important. And a lot of you might be like, you don't understand. I don't have time. I guarantee if you sit down and you chunk out your day and what you're actually doing with your time, I guarantee there's time in social media or media itself, like watching TV, watching Netflix or whatever, that you can carve out and use that time to build your business and build your passion instead of spending, time, being a screen zombie.
Right. So
Everyone can find the time. Again, knowing your why, knowing your passion, so you be willing to find the time to do what you love.
And finally, learn the skill sets. So listen, if there's one thing that is so much more important than everything else online, and I don't care who it is, I don't care who's saying what, where, when, why, or how. There's one thing. If you can master one thing, you can make money on the internet in 2020 and beyond. Because it hasn't changed since I got on the internet.
No.
So the actual thing that you need to learn how to do has been the same thing everybody has to learn how to do since I started, which is learn how to drive traffic to your links.
Yes.
Period.
And your content as a whole, whether it's YouTube,
Right, that's what I mean.
Facebook,
Sure.
whatever.
So in that statement, there is a lot. It's a mouthful. There is understanding social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube.
OMG, you're overwhelming them already. You got to stop.
There's websites, there's blogs, there's Joma, there's WordPress, there's Joomla. What else is there? How much can I put more information overload on them? What else is there?
I think that's
Autoresponders. There's all kinds of things. Web design, graphics. So I'm just.
But we're going to keep it simple. So don't get overwhelmed with all
that.
We're going to get back to this.
Here's my point. You need to come back to this site because we're going to start putting videos out regularly, breaking things down in very small little bits. This video, like I said, it's recorded on a computer with a built-in webcam and onboard. Microphone.
We're not even using anything
What I
fancy.
will do, which is going to be a little fancier, but I can do that now, is I'm going to take the video, I'll edit it out, and then I'll try to maybe doctor the sound a little bit so it doesn't sound so bad.
Which, by the way, for those of you that don't have professional video equipment, Windows, unfortunately, the newer Windows does not have Windows Movie Maker anymore, which I think was a bad move on Windows' part. But if you do have a Mac or an iPad and stuff like that, you can use the onboarding Movie Maker on their iMovie, which has actually some sound editing capabilities as well as ability to fix the actual visual. So
and let me just be perfectly clear.
But I think there's other free programs out there. So what we're saying is you don't need a lot of stuff to do this right.
No, you don't.
Apps on your phone that you can use to do basic edits and things like that too.
I'm going to do some stuff. I mean, like, why would I have done marketing and internet stuff all these years and not at least make it sound as good as I can? I might even put an audio track on it, which, by the way, here's a free tip for you. If you've got long videos, like 47 minutes long, put an audio track behind it. And there's lots of places you can get it, and we'll talk more about that later.
We'll put a link below to one of our favorite places to get a lot of creatives that you can use for your videos and beyond that is really affordable. So that link will be below this video too.
And so there's just so many different things that we want to share with you. This was just kind of like, hey, let's break the ice and when we talked about what are we going to do? What are we going to do in Profit on Knowledge? How are we going to help people? We're going to help.
Because that's really our primary mission.
How to make money
is helping people. We love
on
to
the
help
internet
people make money
2020
and better their lives.
Maybe we'll stop in 2021, so pay attention.
Basically, in short, our whole channel is just about helping you learn the skills that you need to be able to say yes more to your life. Whatever that looks like, we're just here to help you to better your life and be able to have that control to say, hey, I want to
If you hear extra noise, I'm sorry. I'm playing with my keys. My bad.
Yeah, what you doing that for?
I was fidgeting.
Getting all fidgety on me. But yeah, so we're here to help you. Comment below. Let us know how you're doing.
I don't got a fidget spinner.
Those aren't cool anymore, man.
I'm out.
Yeah, sorry. You're way behind the times in that. But yeah, just comment below. Let us know how you like this video. Let us know the stuff that you'd like to learn about, what you're interested in, what's your why for wanting to make money online in 2020. What's your, passion? What is it that you would do if money or time were no object? We're here to help you grow in your life and well, that's it. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and check out the links below this post and everything like that. And we'll see you in the next video.
Take care now.
Peace.
Bye.